Welcome to the Horsemanship Remark Show. It is 1 week before winter solstice, holy smokes. And I could blame being late on Michael, but it's really my fault. And hopefully he'll be here in just a minute. I wanted to remind you guys about the Horsemanship Challenge that's coming up. Couple of things right at the top of the show. Number one, Horsemanship Challenge coming up in I guess it would be like 3 weeks, right? I mean, soon, beginning of the year, first weekend of the year. So go to the northwoodfarms.com website and click on Horsemanship Challenge. That one is free to everybody. Number two, I'm going to test out a Facebook course, like do the level 1 course through Facebook. I've never done that before, but I want to offer that as a standalone to everybody. If you are a horsemanship insider and don't have a copy of the levels list yet, reach out to me, okay, you guys? And I'll make sure that you get that. And here's Michael. Good morning. Good morning. Hi. Good morning, Corey.
Morning.
I am so excited. I'm teaching at Corey's tomorrow, so I'm really excited for that. Then the other thing I would just say is go to horsemanshipclinics.info for my clinics for next year. That's it. And I do have like maybe one spot left for video coaching. One spot per week. Don't turn your there you go. So if you guys want to do like any kind of Facebook coaching, which I've been doing this year and had fun with it, um I'll probably do one more spot per week. So um let me know. Any other housekeeping things? Michael, I've been looking at my calendars this morning. That's Susan, good morning. I need an update on the list, please, because man, we've had some surprising responses to that. Surprising to me. Michael, I'm cleaning stalls last night and I'm like, am I crazy? I'm like, I must be crazy because I did not see this coming. Or crazy is maybe not the right word. Is the right word like out of touch slash clueless? Is that better word?
Well, which did you not see coming? I mean, we talked about it a little yesterday, but what are you referencing there?
I'm referencing people feeling overwhelmed rather than soothed. That is what I'm referencing.
Uh, I haven't interacted with everyone to know where the overwhelm is. I mean, we talked about it yesterday, but
Yeah, Sarah, good morning. Uh
mm,
Yeah, so and also here's the thing, Michael, when I looked at the list, you guys, if you don't have the levels list, please reach out to me. I will get it to you. Um there's nothing extraneous in there. Is there anything that you can think of that's like
well, I mean, we talked about it yesterday. Thousands upon thousands upon thousands of people, including many we respect, ride all kinds of horses without having jumped a barrel. So, is it extraneous? Oh, it depends on from what perspective you're looking for. Is it valuable? Yes. Is it a good test for things? Is it a good challenge? Is it um
it's making sure that your lead by works. So I don't know, do you consider that
well,
you're
I mean,
Saudi Arabia? Wow, what's the
what
picture there?
what I mean, you could say, I don't know, put a picnic table in front of your horse, provided it's big enough. Better make sure your lead by works. If you can't jump a picnic table, it doesn't, right? Or whatever. It's like, how much do you have to put on the list to go, well, it's an obvious thing. So I don't
Well,
know.
I
I
would
don't think I don't think it is yeah, I don't think it's extra beyond what one ought to be able to do,
And I'm
and yet you can get away with not doing it more so than you can getting away with not doing other items on the list. For instance, a basic hindquarter yield, ABC, um, 1, 2, 3, ABC, 1, 2, 3.
come
Sounds
on.
like children's programming we're doing here.
That is
Uh,
basically what it is, yeah.
um, you know, don't be scared of stuff. The flag, the stick, the string, the rope. I mean, you could say, oh,
No,
there's nothing extraneous. You should be able to, you know, whatever. You got the ball in there, but you should be able to run a remote control car into your horse. They should be able to handle that. So let's put that on the list. It's not extraneous.
I don't know if I agree with that. I'm
They
not
should be able to run a remote control car into your horse.
yeah. I mean, that would be great, but I don't think and you're right. There's a line that everyone has to draw. I guess I am thinking of it in a way of like what we've already done. And yes, there are people that haven't pushed a ball or rolled a barrel away from your horse. But that really is a part of the program. For instance, you're going to have to drag the tarp away from your horse probably a little bit before they're going to walk over the top of it. Um, it's not a new thing to have to lead your horse by over a tarp. Um, if you're really going to
Well, I mean, if we're talking newness, I don't know. The Where are we defining as new? When does history start? The ball is new. It's not new and unfamiliar to many of us, but um,
but even so
someone coming from a different context, I know why you don't have cattle stuff on the list because you want it to be more accessible, but you know, it's like cattle is not extraneous. That's like what we have to have, you know, from certain people's contexts.
absolutely. And if you can chase a cow, you definitely can chase a ball. So
Maybe. Maybe not. If they're scared of the ball, it's a totally different animal,
if
pun
they're not
intended.
scared of the tarp, they're not going to be scared of the ball. I don't know. I mean, yeah, I guess you could say that, but we are
100%. If yeah, otherwise, why is ball on the list? Just to have tarp on the list.
the
Ball is a different thing.
no, the ball is on the list very specifically. Okay, you guys, if you don't know what I'm talking about like one of those big horsemanship balls. I just wanted to put it on the list of like exposure things
Uh-huh.
to do. Really, my goal was to have as many things, all of it as best you can, to be able to do all year long in all types of arenas. Yes, of course, if you can't walk through the mud, you can't walk through the snow, whatever, there's going to be some, but I didn't want it to be like you have to have a fancy arena or you have to have um
Access to cows.
access to cows or a river, or like I'm trying to make it as accessible as possible. So the big horsemanship ball is an easy, in my opinion, easy, cheap way to have your horse get used to following something that is moving and that you can really control, right? That is going like up and down. And yeah, you could do probably get all that done with a tarp. The only thing that I would say is like the horse really having power to roll it away. 1 second here.
No.
Yeah, keeps going.
And the more you can expose them to, the better. So again, it's not like, this is extra in the sense of you shouldn't have to, you know, expose, but I mean, it is kind of, can't have it both ways. This is a, you know, something that you need to do, but also saying, well, if you can push a cow or if you can move a tarp, then you can certainly do the ball. Well, then why have the ball on the list? Outside of what you just said, you can push it away more than a horse can. Horse is gonna have a hard time pushing a tarp away, or you're gonna have a hard time communicating to a horse that that's what you want.
And also, like, you probably a lot of people don't want their horses biting cattle or really like pushing cattle like that. So I guess
Okay, so why then have a ball? Like, why do you have to push something? In what other context do you need your horse to push something?
nothing. It's just showing confidence. And I
Okay.
guess this is my point. This is my point. In reaction to some people being quote unquote overwhelmed by the list,
Mm-hmm.
and feeling like, oh, this is extra, or this is more, or this is going to take me more time. I don't see that looking at the list. I don't see with the folks that we know, with the curriculum that we already know. I mean, unless it's too much trouble to buy a $20 ball, poof it up, and do a few things with it, I just don't see that that's a ton of extra time. And if it takes you a ton of extra time to jump the barrels, you probably should definitely do it, because your lead by is not as good as you think.
Well, okay, so here's the other thing though.
Daisy, you're going to have to be quiet because we're doing
The
this.
Those things, and this gets back to, well, the list is just a list. It's not a curriculum or the order of things in terms of you have to have this to this quality before, right? This is likely to work.
It is the
It's
order.
it is in order. It is in order, but you're not there going, you know, it has to be done to XYZ quality, super describing how light it needs to be. You know,
Yes.
you can say send them over the barrel, and if they don't go, you go, well, it's not light enough. Okay. But plenty of people I have seen in the past go send them over the barrel. Well, it's not light enough. Well, then you just whack them over the barrel or you rush them into the trailer. It's like, okay, well, you got to back up because so I think some of these items on their list, for us are, and many students that we've helped or other folks that have, done um, quality groundwork. It is just okay, spend a little time on this, kind of a no brainer. Kind of, oh, this isn't working. Let's touch something up. But if you get the list and you're too focused on the list and you go, oh, well, I can do a hindquarter yield, check. I can do this, check. I can do this, check. Okay, now jump a ball. Well,
There's
I can't do that, right? And they're like, well, how do I do this? And it's like, well, you check this off, but the quality wasn't even close to there enough to jump a ball. Or I mean, jump a barrel.
yeah,
So
but here's the thing. So just in thoughts and response, I really don't want to discourage anybody, including you, from giving me feedback, but this, let's just talk this out for a second. So I think that and the reason I'm saying this, you guys, is just
I'm
because
just pushing.
that's fine. I like it. The thing is, this is what I've done. What I guess is amazing is people that have been so happy with my teaching, or have found success. It's like, you guys, this is what I do. And when a person comes and says, like, I need to work on whatever, and in my mind, I hadn't grouped them together and labeled them in terms of levels before, but I did group them together in my mind. And it's like, okay, well, and when you ask, hey, what's going on, what's going really well, what are your challenges, and let's say something isn't working, Well, then what do? We do the very first thing we do is go back a little bit and check the ingredients. So, if someone has checked off lead by, let's say, or someone has checked off the ABC and is, or let's say, because I have, you guys, I have it separated. So the ABC is just stand still, relax with the flag, go out and around, yield the hindquarters. Okay, that's just the basic. Stand still, relax with the flag, go out and around, yield the like that is the basic ABC. Okay, and just because you can do that doesn't necessarily mean that you can also swing the flag up and over their shoulders while they're walking calmly around. Okay, and but let's just say that you can walk around and swing the flag up and over their shoulders, and you're like, check. Okay, good. Yeah. So Michelle, the 1, 2, 3 is riding. So ABC is on the ground. Riding is stand still while I pet you, walk off straight, yield the hindquarters. Okay. Good morning, Lisa. Also, we Julie had a couple comments, but let me come back to that in just a second. Michael can read them. So here's the thing. Then let's say you go to the next thing, or you're like, oh, I'm still having trouble saddling my horse or standing still, or I can't bounce the ball near them, or whatever. You'd be like, okay, so let's check a couple things because your teacher should n- know to say, can let me see the flag in motion on your ABC, and that's where the quality of it's like, yeah, but your horse is like tiptoeing around and holding their breath. So let's get that a little better. But it's still valuable that they would have
The
checked
list.
off, yeah, checked it off the list, because then you have a start on it. And the very next time you get with your horse, you'll be like, okay, let's just make sure that the flag in motion helps turn you loose. So I don't know how much you could make that into a written program, because you still are going to need some external expert uh, eyes on the ground to help you move through any kind of curriculum with quality. How could you possibly write out all the things that you need? And how many times it's going to take for your horse to get anything down? Because some horses are just going to get it like that. You just change your presentation a little bit, no problem. Other horses is like, whoop, 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 whoop. There's a reason you've been doing this slowly, because your instinct is like, you're going to die, which is true. So then let's make sure your hindquarter yield is good enough. Your ABC is good enough such that you're not going to die when you dial it up. So, Lisa, yeah. Thank God you looked at the list. Lisa has been super valuable. Thank you. She's also come through the Prairie program a bazillion years ago with me, and she's a very analytical mind, that the organizational mind, wouldn't you say, Lisa? Judging from the state of her garage, her shop, and her barn and her house, very organized. And so your horse has to trust you. That is true. Who is too hip to go? Who is that? Somebody we know, I'm guessing. Will you read the comments real quick, Michael?
Sure. Too hip to go, referencing the ball and the cow and all that, I believe, said, wouldn't that be called stimulation? The more, the better. Or
Stimulation, I'm guessing.
exposure.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Julie said you should have a pick six on the list. We have to introduce 6 new things that are unique to our barn or area. Pick six could be in the bonus section.
Like, are you thinking of like go under some trees, go through some water, like that kind of exposure? Is that what you're talking about, Julie?
The remote control car.
Yeah, the remote control car. I mean, I like that. 6 is kind of a lot. It sounds cool though. Maybe 3 would be good, or 2, but I like the idea in the bonus section. Yeah, the remote control car. Or have you seen, there's one video I saw where someone had the wind up crabs or whatever
Oh
just
yeah.
in the barn aisle, like on a cement barn aisle, and the horses like standing there like this, and they just one at a time wound up the little like plastic, crabs until they had like 40,000 of them out. It was wild. It was very cool. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Uh,
around here we have remote control cars going. I mean, you know where the Thai area is. It's not doesn't happen frequently, but there have been times where a remote control car comes zipping down the aisle, or a hockey puck, or a football, or a bike, or just a child running. So yeah.
I guess we could put on there some alternative to the ball. You could say the the big ball, or hashtag alternate, some equivalent. You could. I mean, for instance, if you had Lydia running around in front with streamers, like one of those dancers or something like that, jumping up and down, it's like, that's pretty good. You know, I
Yeah,
mean,
and I guess that's the thing. If they're good with the ball, they're good with the cow. Or if they're good with the cow, they're good with the ball. I mean, get out one of those blow up dinosaur
sure.
costumes.
Sure.
Holy hell, that's you could be good with the cow all day, and that doesn't mean they're going to be good with that. You can be good with a, but I mean, literally, you could be good with a cow, and you could have a horse just going, I have no idea on that ball, or some that are just straight up terrified of it. So,
That's true, but it
yeah,
shouldn't take all day or
yeah.
all like some big.
If your horse is in the rectangle and forward, and yes, yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So this is, I guess, my pushback of like, oh, this is gonna take me so much more time than the other curriculum. It's like, I don't think so. I mean, if you were gonna get through the more nebulous curriculum that nobody had written down, then none of this is going to take you extra time.
yeah.
Unless you want to say without inequality, but who's gonna say that?
Well, and like I said yesterday, I think it's just the overwhelm of like, whoa, here it all is in front of me, like, and spelled out. Like, it's one thing to see it. Like you said, people watch Buck ride. Isn't that overwhelming? Well, it is. I mean, how many times you'd be like, oh my gosh, like, how in the world? Well, this is the how in the world, right? Spelled out, or at least listed out, not necessarily spelled out in the detail, like Lisa said. Detail is like it'd be impossible to list everything, or describe in detail everything how to do it.
And how would that make it less overwhelming?
Yeah, it wouldn't. But if you were to list that, like if there were some way to do that, it would be like even more overwhelming. Like any of it is overwhelming if you're thinking, if you're pausing and going, how would I actually do all of this starting from zero? You look at the list and you're like, what? Wow, that's going to take me a while. Just by virtue of having a list. Now, the more experience you have, oh, come on, I said starting from nowhere.
Right. You're 100% right. It's just the degree to which I've been bugged for a list. And then, like, I'm just surprised that people are, what did they think would be on the list? Like, two things? Or I don't get it. I mean, did you read the cult starting list?
I didn't.
Oh, yeah. Anybody want to cry? I'll send you the cult starting list.
I have to look at it because how can that be that
Oh,
much
yeah.
longer?
You would, I
So
mean,
what's on that? That's not on the.
so many things, so many things. Michelle, I just wanted to say that because she said that bicycles were on her pick six. Oh, did you read the cold starting list, Lisa? That's pretty amazing. I think you're probably the only one other than me who's been able to read it. Maybe Buck was able to read it, probably. But I'm sure he didn't even need to read the whole thing. I'm guessing he just looked at it and be like, "Oh yeah, she's got the details here." Um, if your horse is good with you bouncing a ball away and eventually towards him, he will he'll still look sideways at the bicycle. But he will get the pattern of like, I get to follow this for a little while, and then I'm going to walk up and touch it. And then I'm going to follow it a little bit more. And then I'm cool for it to come back and forth. Can you read Lisa's?
Oh, well, we missed one of Corey. Lisa said, plus, it can be difficult for the rider to see all the nuances themselves. Eyes on the ground is so helpful, even if it's not on a regular basis. She said, except the big ball or a barrel is good because the horse can move it themselves. Very beneficial. Too hip to go said something else. Lisa said, the lists are great. I've read them all. And then Lisa said, for the record, the cold start list did not make me cry.
Congratulations on that. Probably because she's done it all. Look at the Colt start list. This is all pre first ride.
I have to look at this list.
Weird. And then I was gonna do the first ride, first three rides, and then I was like, forget it.
Too
I'll
much
do it
work.
later
It's
because
too overwhelming.
it is. And so my point is, then I ended up with the like these nice little lists for, level one through, what did I do? Level 1 through 3 with bonuses on the ground, either haltered or loose, and then 7 levels with the right. And they're not different than what we were doing before. And if you want to cry, see, this is the thing. If you want to cry, just I'll give you the cold starting list.
Just cry.
Yeah, just cry, but don't come to me crying. I'm not your huckleberry in terms of that one. What did Julie say? Julie, what'd you say? Because
If
here's the
people don't have a ball, they can use what they have.
Yeah, totally. The thing and I mentioned to somebody else that if it was 10 years ago and the ball was $110, I wouldn't have put it on there because I really want things to be inexpensive. Like totally doable for everybody. And especially if you have a few friends and the ball is now $20, like you guys each put in, $5 or something and everyone can use the ball. You know like, I really
But
didn't want
the added weight of one of those people having put in $5 and someone also having to go and order the ball and blow it up, it's a big
they're on
ask.
Amazon, it's not even hard to order them.
No, it's too easy.
Not.
Okay, let's back up and get some of these comments here that I passed over in trying to get Lisa's comments all at once. Okay, Sadie, shut up. Um, Corey said it's like teaching standards. It's a guideline, but requires interpretation, and the teacher has to help the student understand how to meet each standard with the required quality. And then
Eh,
Lisa did say organization is a kinder way to put it. I don't know. I didn't think you were unkind, but
no,
oh,
no,
she said is a kind way to put it.
he's just
Yeah.
compulsive.
Well, you didn't say that.
But that's
You
what she
already skirted that, but Lisa was defensive regardless, right?
no,
Organizational.
her. I
What's
admire
that?
I admire her for that level.
I do too. I haven't been to her house, but I
Yeah.
admire people like that.
The first time I went to sell one of their houses, because I've sold a bunch of houses for them, and I walked into the garage, and the screwdrivers, the electric screwdrivers, and the drills were like organized on the wall by wattage or something, right, Lisa? Like I was like, I tried to keep a straight face, but I was like, so cool, That was
I'm
awesome.
not impressed. That's cool, you know.
Yeah, I was like, and I'm thinking, wow, you know, I wish someone would do that at my house, you know. Anyway,
Uh yeah, to be that organized and as I don't know. It seems like there's a lot of fun in that household too. How could there not be? Um
she has a great attitude about it. And the
yeah.
other thing about Lisa is she doesn't expect everybody else to be that way. I think that's part of what makes it so fun. You
Yeah.
know, it's like That's a huge part of it. Versus, look at my attitude. I have the shittiest attitude just because I think of
You
the list.
do,
I do. I'm so.
especially in the last few days here. Like,
I was. Nathan called me the other day, and
you're not grateful enough. What did Nathan say?
into the phone. Poor Nathan's trying to do his evening chores. He had to go, and then he calls me back, and I'm like, I'm gonna try not to yell. He goes, just get it over with. I I promise Michael can attest to the fact that once I get through it, then it works itself out and something productive will come out the other side.
Got to put up with her whining for a while here. Just like she has to put up with other people whining.
That's right.
Listen to your own advice, man.
I know.
Okay, we still don't know who Too Hip to Go is, but Too Hip to Go said you have to expose your horse to his. What's that?
Confess who you are
Oh,
to.
yes. You have to expose your horse to as much as you can. As long as you reinforce them and the horse trusts your leadership, you'll be okay.
I would
And then,
advice. The point of just only having, like, let's say one concrete thing that hopefully is accessible to everybody on the list is it will get a start for you. And if you never do something like that, you don't have the skeleton for, continuing on. And the two things for exposure is really simple, you guys. The two key exercises, let's say, or I don't know, let's think of how we would label them, is lead by and follow something. Like, that's it. And maybe we would say, Michael, maybe we would also say cross the tarp and jump the barrels. Those are probably all exposure things. And if you can do those three things, you can do anything with the same skeleton that you use to accomplish those things, which are at the beginning, right?
hmm.
Number one, the ABC. Like, that's the beginning. I couldn't believe that certain people didn't know what that was, but it's good. It's good for me to. This is my cluelessness about being a teacher. What was the last here? I just need to get caught up here.
Michelle said, I'm bringing Remy to you when it's cold starting time. Um,
You,
and Too Hip to Go said, horses naturally want to please, be the object they want to please. It's a good one. Be the one they want to please. Um, Lisa said, it's just that a lot of people have never seen a list. They just did the stuff. Now it's on paper and it suddenly looks overwhelming, or it brings the holes in their home horsemanship to the surface. That's what I think. As soon as it's like you said, the cold starting thing. Like I look at that list and I'm not overwhelmed by it, but I'm going, what all do you have listed there? Because it's like I'm not. I haven't listed it in that detail, but I
I
guarantee there's nothing on that list, or I guarantee very unlikely there's anything on that list that I'm gonna be like, oh yeah, I hadn't thought of that. It's like I do that on the regular, so you're probably detailing it out on a level that is like, oh, that's all one thing practically because it all flows together. I don't know. Haven't looked at the list yet, but
wouldn't it be nice if he would do his homework before the show, you guys? That'd be.
yeah.
I like it
Well,
better
I
when
was like, "You have so much going." I'm like, "Yeah, but a lot of people have stuff going, you know?" Like, but lately I've been really thinking, yeah, my brain is going on several different tracks at once all the time. So maybe I am doing too much. I don't know. Um, yeah. So that was Lisa's comment. And then Corey said, the cold start list is cool if you have a baby because there's so much good variety. I think it would be fun, but it would definitely need guidance on how to approach a lot of things. Oh, Emma did say organizational. So she was appreciating, Lisa was appreciating that you said organizational. Oh, Susan said, I got to meet this Lisa. Susan is also extremely organized,
they would get along.
organizational.
Yeah, yeah.
And then Julie said, see, everybody read the cold starting list but me. Julie said, I love the cold starting list. It provides perspective for the other list.
That's the reason I sent it out, because I'm like, look, once I got the cold starting list written out, I mean, it's so unreadable. It's so unreadable for most people. N- And even people that have done or
So
are capable of all of it, reading it is tedious in and of itself, let alone doing it with a horse.
yeah. So crap. What was I just gonna say? Just about to say it. And it jumped. Um.
Well, Julie said that it's a good contrast for the list.
Oh,
And
so what on that list? Like, why isn't everything on the list on the
every,
checklist? Right?
every
If pushing the ball is like, if you can't do that, or jumping the barrels, if you can't do that, is your lead by really there? Well, what else is on the
on the
you
cold
know?
starting list.
Yeah, if
What
that's all imperative with cold starting and for a first ride, shouldn't it be like, well, if you can't do this with your bro course, Buck says that all the time. The flag.
Well, there are minimums without a
Mhm.
doubt that you should check. Now, here's the thing. If you get a colt or if you get a horse that's been started by you or a few of our friends, or who knows, maybe lots of other people that we don't know, a great colt starter, then yes, all of this stuff will be there. And maybe you, if you've seen it on video, or if it should be there, and it should take you 2 seconds to check off the list if your horse was started properly.
Mhm.
The reason I developed these levels the way that I did is with a couple things in mind. First of all, that it would be people that already have horses that are going. Not not that they don't have holes, but that they aren't some major um that there aren't some major holes. Like when I put in my foot in the stirrup, it wants to flip over backwards and flop onto the ground. Like as soon as I ask it to move forward past me, it's going to kick me in the face or run off or okay. So some of these things are pretty severe holes that you probably do need some attention to. And most likely, if you're leaving those things in, it's possible, I'll just say, that it might not be a good thing for you to be doing that. You need to get it to somebody that is pretty handy with the actual cult starting list because that will solve your problems.
Mhm.
And or you could put that horse up, or just leave it in your barn or in the pasture or whatever until you learn. But you really should take like a more broke horse through through the cold starting list, or through the regular levels, and that'll get you a really good start on it. So the levels are designed for a regular person with a regular horse that is broke, and that hopefully you can live in any kind of environment as best you can. I didn't want to make it so that if you're in a boarding facility you can't do this, if you don't have a round pen you can't do this, you know what I mean? And the other thing I was saying to Kip last night is I'm like, I should probably tell people that they shouldn't have to do the loose list, Liberty, for those of you guys who haven't seen it. But you don't have to do any of that. If I only made that list because people were asking me and because I feel more comfortable when I can do those things. But you certainly wouldn't have to do that. So I guess what I'm saying is the regular curriculum, if
Okay,
any,
so here's the thing. Sorry,
that's okay.
I'm gonna be a pain in your ass and push. But you can't have it both ways. You don't have to do this, but you should be able to do this. And if you can't do this, you're missing something. But you don't have to be able to do this, you know, or you don't have to do it, you know. I mean, you don't have to do anything. Bottom line, but like it's all good stuff to do, and like you can't argue with, like you said, if you're wondering what I do, right? Emma, what you do, and you want to do what I do, this is what I do, in addition to the whole cult starting list, frankly. But again, I think the accessibility piece is a big one. Um, the one thing I did have as feedback, which but I think would be worth mentioning, like you just said, don't have to do the everything loose. You like to check that you can. It makes you feel better to be able to do that. But advisable to make sure it's good haltered, then just start with the loose. Just turn them loose and see how it goes.
Yeah, and
Um,
see, the thing is, I feel like a person uh, would probably notice if they try the loose list. See, this is the thing. It's not the end of the world if you try something on the list and you're like, oh, I can't do this yet.
mhm.
That's a great thing. That's not a bad thing. That's a great thing. And so, if you try to do the loose list and your horse just leaves, it's like, okay, no problem. We can get some other things going on, haltered. But yes, perhaps some of those things need to be advisable, or are advised. Um,
Mentioned that this is maybe a better approach.
yeah, Corey, what's the other thing that we have to have on it every line? Because I have a new one that's going to go at the top. Um, but she had something else that needs to be a caveat as well. Um, I guess let's just real quick what crosses my mind. For instance, Katniss. Okay, I did not go through the whole cult starting list with Katniss. Betty does not need to go through the whole cult starting list with Katniss. Katniss has had the whole cult starting list done by Michael like 10 years ago. Now, would it be advised for me and or Betty, who now owns the horse, to go through all the levels? Yes, absolutely. She's gonna burn through a lot of it really quickly. And even if she wants to skip the loose one, that's fine. Um, but she might want to play with some of that. But there's a whole bunch of that because because you started Katniss, because you exposed Katniss to all these things, because you developed that horse. Yes, it would be good for her to go through the list, just because it'll get her right to where the two of them are challenged. And again, I'll say that there's 3 levels in the haltered list, and there are 7 levels in the riding list. So there's which is by design. And it's again, it's because I'm not trying to make shit up to put on the list. Other than, you know how Buck is always like, you could get really creative with this. You could do lots of different things. For instance, the divorce, going from just like, can you make a sweet spot away from the gate, which you really need to be able to do. And that's certainly not new on the curriculum. Okay, that's one thing. But one of the bonus things is that, like, can you throw a glove on the ground in a field or an arena or something and have the horse figure out that what you want is for them to put the foot on the ground via a divorce. Okay, it's not like that hasn't been mentioned. Buck in specific, for those of you guys who are doing Buck's curriculum specifically, he's mentioned that. So that's not extraneous to me. And if you're burning through horses, doing a 90-day horse or a 120-day horse, yeah, of course, there's going to be some things you don't want to get sidetracked on. If it's your personal horse that you're going to have for 10 years, you probably are going to look through some of the bonuses and be like, hey, can I do this? You know? So do you follow me in terms of, like, if you have a nice horse, or I would say just any kind of a safe horse that you can, without being ridiculous, I'm saying it in a nice way, without being like ridiculous, you have been reasonably safe to do some things with your horse, right? Because presumably they will have been started and not have like everything skipped. If you get a horse from Michael that's been started by Michael or Gary, um, you're going to be able to burn through this stuff like really fast. And then you're going to hit the wall at riding where the horse probably hasn't been developed past certain things, just by the nature of them only being with uh, uh, Gary or you for a certain amount of time, and then that's where you continue on level 4 or 5. Some of those things, right? Now, if you buy a Grand Prix horse from Europe and bring them home, then you're going to be able to do a lot of stuff up high on the riding list. But it would still end, you're certainly going to be able to do quite a few things on the haltered list as well. But it would, and presumably you can put them in the trailer and take them somewhere. You might even be showing, but it would still be beneficial for you to march your way up the list, both haltered and riding. If you're going to keep your horse, do the loose list. It's really good and healthy and fun. But that is a time factor. If you have 10 years, you got lots of time. If you're only going to have the horse for a year or two, maybe let's say you're only leasing a Grand Prix horse, um, then you're going to have to work with.
So, okay, let me. Okay, so um, Michelle said, "Do the milestones on the quote starting list mirror the other levels?" Yes. Okay.
Yeah,
Corey said, "The framework, ideas, and philosophy need to stay at the forefront. So it's not just getting your horse to do the stuff without the mindset of the horsemanship relationship as priority," which is what I said the other day. And you're like, "Yeah, it's on there. How much more obvious can it be?" I'm like, "Yes, it needs to be emphasized more frequently, like on every line." Right. So
that's a
Corey's kind of saying the same thing. Right. So I'm going to push back on the if your horse can't go over barrel, how good is your leading by? Now you've said you don't have to do the loose list, but you could also say if you can't do it loose, how good is your horse actually going out and around? Or
connected are they
at
to you?
how connected are they? Or are we just getting the horse to do stuff? So you don't have to, but it's also like if you can't, something's missing.
Well, yes, yes. I would just say that that's going to be the case through everything. It's like if you want to, I mean, doesn't that go without saying? It's like the more you do, the better your horse is going to be, And when we come, I mean, don't use the list at all if you don't want to. Or there are going to be people that do it totally differently,
I
But
guess I would say for me, priority of being able to do the loose list, to where you're basically doing the haltered stuff loose. I mean, it is the same list. It's just like ABC is level 1 haltered, and it's level 2 loose, right? So
yeah.
I would I would prioritize that over jumping a barrel
Oh, interesting.
or pushing a ball or throwing a ball around my horse,
No,
frankly.
I totally disagree. But that's interesting. And when I say disagree, I guess I just mean I personally would feel safer if my horse is feeling really good about the ball, feeling really good about going exactly where I say, being able to jump something. In other words, like make a very athletic move, come back and relax and come back to me. I personally have put that specifically like that because that's what I like, because then I feel safer.
And yet, you feel safer, guarantee if you can do that, you having accomplished that would also, without having worked on the loose stuff, would be able to do the loose stuff. To me, what I'm saying there is if so and so is out working with their horse, jumping the barrel, even with a certain level of quality, or being okay with the ball at a certain level of quality, if we're going on the framework and the ideas and the philosophy being the most important part of it, the relationship to the horse, the connection at the core, liberty, loose, connected, horse still there mentally with you, even when there are no boundaries, physical boundaries, is more at the essence of things, a test, a test of the essence of things than my horse can jump the barrel or my horse can push the ball or be okay with the ball.
I mean, they're different.
They're different. But if the essence of it is the connection, what is a better connect test of the connection? Or not a better connect test of connection. What is a I mean, Pat said it all the time. Liberty is the truth, right? You take the rope off, now you have the truth.
Mhm. Yeah. I mean, that's there's no way to improve on that statement.
Hmm.
Uh, uh, I would say I've developed several bridle horses without ever working through the Liberty list. I'm thinking Jax and Vivian.
But how many people could say I've developed several bridle horses without getting a ball around my horse or jumping a barrel?
Yeah, I mean I have.
This is
What?
such a dumb conversation.
Dumb? Is this dumb, you guys?
I don't know. I'm just
I don't think this is dumb. I mean,
what? Yeah,
tell me the truth. Is this dumb?
it's not dumb. I'm just like i-
But here,
it's interesting. It's not as interesting to me, I guess, as other conversations because it's kind of like, well, I don't know,
because
to a
you
degree, who cares? Like you said, you can do the list or not do the list.
because you didn't take the time to develop the list. You don't need the
Yeah,
list.
fair
You
enough.
aren't the one who got bugged for the list. You aren't the one who has to worry about it. That's why it's not interesting to you. But uh
True, true statements.
but um which, to be fair, I get it. The only thing I would just put in the bucket again is just that with the bridle horses that I didn't really use, and I'm thinking maybe all of my horses. It just doesn't take. This is the thing. If you're working through all three of those lists, or let's just say if you leave the loose one out completely, you will be able to
Be
go
able to do it.
pretty.
Yes,
Like, for instance, if you didn't do any of it with Rooster for a while or whatever, it doesn't, you just be like, oh, you know let's just do something fun. um
which is pretty much what I did.
yeah, and it's like,
Like I haven't done this since I had the round curl up and I was basically restarting you, getting you moving freely with the saddle and picking up a hind foot and all that. Haven't done it in ages, but turned the horse loose and hey, that was kind of fun. And we pretty well just
it
rocked
should
it.
be this is, I guess, what I've been trying to put my finger on. I'm so sorry that it's taking me all this time in the show to put it shouldn't be that you have to go through this entire list and that takes X amount of time. And then you have to go through this entire list and that takes you the same amount of time. And then you go through this entire list and that takes you it's like, no, they're all going to feed on each other.
Yeah.
So
So
I
there again, back to the why are people so overwhelmed? Because it feels like more than it is, probably because it's spelled out in multiple lists
That's a good point.
in a way, you know, because it
Mhm.
really isn't. You could conflate the lists and go, here's all your groundwork, do this, and now once you got it good, a few days later, do it loose. And it's like it is the same item on the list. It's just take the lead rope away.
Exactly. And yeah, it might take you a little bit of time to like, but not a lot.
There again, it won't take more time because, and that's where I'm saying like the loose element is maybe more important than the jumping the barrel. It won't take you more time because once you have the quality that you're really looking for on the end of the lead rope, it should be there without you having to work at it. Because the working at it isn't working at it at liberty, generally speaking.
Mm.
The working at it is going back and working at it on the end of the lead rope, then turning them loose and going, okay, now it's there.
Mhm. Or like if you want to play around with it a loose, then you can whatever you accomplish there is going to help you be way better on the end of the lead rope. Like
Mhm.
Corey, you and I were talking about this, right? Because she was thinking about like the liberty being or loose
Loose.
being really helpful to improving her quality of groundwork, um haltered just because it has helped her think
Yep.
about what she's doing, and it really helps people think about the angles. So while Michael and I know the angles really well, it's not that big of a deal. But for like a regular person who's never played, and I just what mean when I say a regular person, like just someone who has a horse or two, and isn't doing this full time, 5 days a week, for 25 years or, whatever. Like just a regular person. Um, it can be, and that has never done things loose. That can really be helpful to improving the way that you do your groundwork haltered.
It certainly it certainly is a good test um of the connection, but also like Corey's saying, I I think one component of what Corey's saying that I've witnessed with people all the time is you're like, oh, I probably was doing more management with the rope than I thought. Right. So how do I get this done without the rope? Okay, now let me go back to doing it with the halter, with the lead rope, and
Mhm.
see if I can get it done with the safety net of the lead rope, if we call it that, but without depending on the lead rope so I can go back to it.
Mhm.
And that's what Corey said too, working on my own a lot. I think the loose list provides a good way for me to check the quality of the items in connection with my horse on the haltered list. Yeah.
Mhm. Mhm.
Julie
And
said most of the things we do automatically, like putting on a seatbelt, for example, have way more steps than we think about while we do it. If we wrote it all out, it could feel overwhelming. It's interesting. Um, like in one sense, Levi, or just lots of kids, sometimes myself included, when Emily's like cooking, is like, whoa, she tells me to start something. And I'm like, hold on. I have to write that down. My brain's not going to hold on to all of that, all of those steps, because that's just not my wheelhouse, right? Or like telling Levi, do this, this, and this. And like the brain only latches on to the first thing or the first two things. Um, or he's just completely overwhelmed by the fact that there's four things to try to keep in his mind rather than the one or two. Typical development, but also, some kids have more challenge within that. So this morning, I'm waking Levi up and what he's like, "Oh, we have to make your lunch." He's like, "I already made my lunch. You told me to." I'm like, "Oh, wow." First of all, that's shocking that you did it without me, like, saying it multiple times and without me in the room overseeing the fact that you are actually doing it and making sure. But so I'm over at my parents' place and he does everything I told him to do, which was kind of surprising. But then this morning he's like, "Yeah, that's why it took me so long. You came over and I was still in the shower because I had to get the sandwich meat out and I had to get the mayonnaise." And he gave me like all the tiny little breakdown, and then I had to go upstairs and I had to take my clothes off and I had to start the shower and I had to wait for it to warm up. And I'm like, Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, like in his brain, when you say one thing, like maybe it is, oh, I have to do all these like minutia little pieces. It's not just make your sandwiches. Oh, I have to get the mayonnaise out and I have to get this out. So like, well, maybe that's why one or two things to do is overwhelming because in his mind, each of those things has like so many overwhelming little pieces. So it was just fascinating for him to list like, and it took him a bit. Like it was a long list that he had to do to make his sandwich, take a shower, brush his teeth, and get ready for bed. He broke it down into like a ridiculous number of things. So
That's awesome.
it was kind of funny.
Yeah, that's really cool. It's an excellent point. Mhm.
Um,
Yeah. And I think you guys have a great point of like, maybe it's really not that the list is like, the things are not overwhelming to do. It's just seeing it all on paper is, yeah. And I guess that was my whole point in showing the cold starting list is like, it can be so overwhelming on paper. If you watch Gary do it, you just are amazed. You're just like,
mhm,
but if you break it all on paper, you can't even read it.
mhm.
Yeah. Michelle, so yeah, the only thing about the cult starting list is like I've seen Gary do it in 20 minutes. I think it was 22 minutes or something like that. Like I literally have it on video. So, you know, I probably would say with your baby horse, like take him through. This is what I'm doing with Revlon. I'll just say that. What I'm going to do with Revlon is, and have done, because she basically has all three levels of loose and haltered already. Very, very close. So then before if I want to put her first ride on, or if I want to get her ready for somebody else to do it in a super short amount of time, her first three rides, then I will go through the cold starting list and you know get that all done too. But nothing should be conflicting. It should only get you ahead of the game. I don't know if that answers the question or not. But what is interesting, Michael, to me, of the overall is trying that I think would be relevant to you is, and I find it just really interesting because this is what I've been doing all along to help you guys. Is know this string of things to do, particularly if you guys look at the riding list, because a lot of times that's what people are asking me for help with. Um, is like that is my list, like up and down that list. So you just figure out a lot. I'll get with a person. You guys that ride with me, tell me I'm wrong. Is like ask enough questions, check enough things to figure out where a person is on the list. And then we pick a couple things to move forward with. That's it. And then we talk about how to do those things. And I make sure that you guys have a couple homework items that you are hopefully very clear on the next few things that you need to be doing. And then we'll get together again. I mean, that's what I've been doing. So I would think that the list would be helpful since I'm not with someone every single day. Like Nathan and I were talking about this because we were together like so many days in a row, continuously over long. So we would do this. This is what we would do day by day by day. So we didn't necessarily need to have a list because, first of all, I had it memorized, but also because, we're just in it so much. But a person who's going to be in and out of developing their horses, or like I said, for me, this, even if none of you guys use it, it's actually still been a super valuable use of my time to have it written out, just because then I can keep track, because the list in and of itself is uh very intuitive to me at this point, but overlaying it on 10 horses, is harder to keep track of because I have to
Mhm.
stop and think about it. But I have a recording of everything, all the time that I put in with each horse. So what I'm just going to do now that I'm pretty happy with the list is I'm just going to print those out and have it stapled to the other pages that I have so that I can quickly look, know immediately where I am, and not have to do like the meditation of like, okay, now I'm with this horse. What am I going to do? Or waste 15 or 20 minutes trying to figure out what you're doing.
Check. I'm going through the list, checking each item.
Yeah. Yeah. So I guess what I'm saying is,
And yet, going, I don't know how much time is actually wasted because it really doesn't take long to go check, 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 check.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah,
and some things you check, 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 whether they've been there or not. You're kind of
make it, yeah. I just feel you're right, of course, and maybe wasted is not what I, but if I'm trying to burn through, let's say if I'm knee deep in a couple of real estate transactions and trying to solve a bunch of other problems, and now I'm coming to my horses and I'm like, I'd like to get, these horses done, or I want to do three, where is everybody, and I think that the drag or the amount of time to get oriented is less. So my premise would be, if you're working through this A for the first time, or B, on your own, or C, you only have a few days a week, or you haven't been at it for 10 days, or, winter or whatever, then it's a good way to get oriented so that you can move, so that you can get to it, to the same way that Levi's like, okay, my ingredients are in the kitchen. I'm going to go to the kitchen, you know, and I'm going to do my stuff.
I think he did actually say I had to go up the stairs. I think that was one of the steps was traveling from point A to point B. Uh,
Yeah, totally. Michelle, what did Michelle said something? Can you read it?
Michelle said it does. Thank you. I have Remy, who I'll be starting, and Otto, who I'm having to get to go back through everything with. So I was just curious how they interplay.
Yeah. Yeah, and auto is probably a really good example. I'll be fascinated. I can't wait for you to start going through some of those lists with auto, uh, and seeing some of the value of it. But he's a great example. I mean, she was riding him before she met Buck, certainly before she met me. I mean, hauling him in a horse trailer, riding him, grooming him, catching him in a field. So this is where it's like, well, how good do you want it to be? I don't know. You don't have to use the list at all if that's good enough. Now, I mean, obviously it hasn't been for her. She wants to pursue a higher level, but I think jumping the barrels is a funny sticking point. I have to think about more like why that is such a resistant point. Like if you can jump your horse into a horse trailer, what is the problem jumping the barrels?
They actually have to jump. Horse trailer, they should be just stepping up.
But not all horse trailers. Don't you want to get your horse into a horse trailer that maybe is parked on a hill or something, and pursue not passing away?
What? I am not following.
Meaning she was worried she was gonna die. Not pursuing horsemanship, just pursuing not passing away. Which
Oh,
is hilarious. She has this huge
oh,
horse.
I see. To pursue horsemanship rather than pursue not passing away.
Well,
Pursue quality rather than just have your goal being not dying.
that was her first goal, I think.
Yeah,
Like, I need to just not die. Oh
that's
my god.
funny.
I'm so excited for her. Oh my goodness gracious. She has this big, beautiful, warm bloody horse, right? And he's just been a bit tight. And so she's been unwinding him and meanwhile, like teaching him the curriculum and learning it herself. And the trot, like, oh my God, it's just gonna blow her mind what it turns into. I'm so excited. I don't want to make too huge of a deal out of it because we have to stay on task and go a little bit at a time. But like I know what it's going to be, and I'll be like, "Freaking told you so." She has it. She believes me, but some of y'all don't believe me at times. But it's going to be fun. And anyway, so that's my um. It helps me a lot to talk it out, you guys. I would. So the only other thing, Susan, have you been using it? Like I would like to know who is using it and checking stuff off. And then I need videos so I can start sending you guys some certificates because like I'll do them for free for a while. Um, because I think it'll be just interesting to hear what people, and I have to do them on video to get the courses done. So there you have it. It's a good little practice. Like, can I actually do these things? Like, would I actually check it off the list? Because sometimes it doesn't take very long to get to attend to something, and then sometimes it does. Either way, I feel like it's pretty valuable because here's the other thing, you guys, is if you can, let's say, do your ABC, Julie, this is my thought. Like, it might you might have to really concentrate on learning it at first, but then doesn't it end up like a seatbelt? You're just putting on your seatbelt, making a sandwich, like you're just automatically doing it at a certain point. And then you don't have to be thinking about it. Michael, remember all those years ago when we would remember that one book we read where it was like writing out everything that's in your mind on a piece of paper and putting it in a stack?
What book
Me,
was that?
one thing at a time. This was a million years ago. I
Yeah.
lived though. Yeah. um so the exercise was, rather than trying to keep everything in your mind all at once, just start writing like one thing on a piece of paper and putting it to the side, and then the next thing on the piece of paper and putting it on the side. And then, and you and I both did it, I think, or even as a I know I did it, like, but as a mental exercise, it's crazy how much is in that we're holding in our mind, and in this constant battle to hold in the conscious mind, which obviously this is why people, the power of compound habit, blah blah blah. Okay, so we can apply it to the same, to the horsemanship ladder and to the levels. It's the same thing. Like, rather than trying to hold the entire thing in your mind, you can get something up and be like, yeah, that's working for me. And by the time, let's say, you get the things in level one, then you start to try the things in level two. And some of them you'll already be able to do, but some of them you'll probably need to check off the list. But by the time you could kind of do everything in level two, you're probably pretty decent proficient at level one. So then you don't have to worry about that as much. And then same thing with level three. And then if you run into a problem, you can go quickly down the list, double check something that maybe needs to be fixed up, because that does happen. And but it's not, you're not going to have to stay down there. It's not going to suck a ton of energy. So I'm just saying the valuable part of kind of being able to set it and forget it a little bit.
Yeah.
And again, thinking about all the horses I have in my string, it can be a little bit of a blur of, like, okay, now what quality is this with this horse? Like, where am I at? Like, I know the basic things that I'm doing, but I don't think that I can hold, I know I can't hold all the horses in all the ways that they are. Um, in the forefront of my mind. And I can't hold all of your guys' horses and where they are in the forefront of my mind either. Although, when you're in front of me, it comes very, very quickly. But for my own horses, I guess it's just nice to look at a list and sometimes at night or first thing in the morning and just kind of think of where I'm at, you know, and get organized for the next day. So, did did Corey who said Susan, come on, I want to know. Let's see.
Lisa said I'll be using the list soon.
Good, good. Yeah, and I know a bunch of people are in winter, and I think what do we have, you guys? 10 days. Yeah, I was thinking about this with the list with flour because I was like, I wonder when this is gonna work out. Like, because am I all of a sudden gonna be able to do everything? I don't know. It's so because like I said, I can't quite tell everything that she's learning right now, even though there's a lot of different bits and pieces on all of this. And I don't have the tag off yet. You know that, but I'll tell you guys. I don't have the tag off yet. Getting closer though. Getting closer. So we're gonna start again on Saturday. That's been a fun. That's been a fun deal. Hopefully it works out. She's so beautiful, Michael. Like when she gets close to me, or I get close to her, like just looking at her, it's just like her face, like I think she's really, really pretty. Use parts of the list. I'll work on videos to send it when it warms up. Okay, cool. Yeah. Anything surprising or tricky or Susan, this is one of the things that, like, let's ask you guys, is there anything that you really feel is extraneous from what we've normally been doing for the last many whiles? If you've been around for a while. Michelle, you don't have to answer that. It should be the same, but I'll tell you this right now. You shouldn't end up at a buck clinic and have it be like, "Well, I can't do any of this." No. It should all be, "Did you excuse me.
Bless you.
Excuse me." It
Shall
should
be somewhat accessible.
yeah. And there were only a few things that, I got said, "Don't do this." Well, there was one. Yeah, there was only one.
And that's still on the list. You just modified it, right?
Well, I mean, I still think petting the horse on the forehead and it's something I'll teach, but his point was you can't just have people trying that. That's my line at the top, don't be retarded is Corey. That's the other one I'm gonna list, like right under it. Level one, loose, don't be retarded. Um Michael doesn't think it's as funny as I think it is. But there are some things that I would say it really does need private coaching. And that was his point. It's like you can't just randomly have that on the list. I will still be doing it. But part of his point, you guys, because this is the thing, rub your horse on the forehead, roll your hand up between their ears, and lower their head. Because that was a big deal to Novella, like really a big, I could lower her head from like all different ways, but that was a big deal. Helped her turn loose quite a bit. However, I probably wouldn't do that with Davina just because my arm is not long enough to keep me safe doing that standing right in front of her. Novella is a pony, so pony size anyway, and so I can do it safely without having my face over her head.
Hmm.
So that was the big one. So we just modified it to make sure that you are running your hand over the pole. I still don't think it's the same. I'll always teach the other one. Just yeah, I mean. But then the only other thing was that I can think of was the switching from the doing backing a circle first to the four-quarter yield. I'll have to ask again, but that's because I don't do it that way. But it's fine. We can do it that way. And the reason I don't, I mean, I kind of do, but I have that on the ground first. So anyway, there are a few modifications, but I didn't hear like, oh, this is all a bunch of extraneous stuff. I didn't hear that because it's not. Anyway, we need to get rolling here in a few minutes. So,
Yes.
do you have any?
Michelle said that was me at the buck clinic. I couldn't even get on. I hope he doesn't recognize us in March in case it goes south again.
He's definitely gonna recognize.
Yeah. Sorry, Michelle.
I don't think it will go. This is the deal, you guys. Because somebody else had a an exposure thing that kind of really shocked them. I mean, horses need exposure in order to be okay with things. And every horse, like remember a Legacy of Legends? I went, you guys, like 12 years ago or something. So we all went to the casino to the, why can I never, South Point? I can't remember it's the one with big huge horse arena inside. It was awful. We stayed inside for 3 days. It was terrible. I'll never do that again. Um,
Ding 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 ding.
oh my god, it was terrible. Um, but a fun experience with the people. I should have just gone out onto the roof and seen the sunlight a few times. Um, but there were people that were super handy, and those horses could do all sorts of things on a ranch. But they were melting down, being stuck inside and stuck in stalls because they had never done that before. So it was really a challenge for them because they didn't have any exposure in that way. And you'll actually hear that quite a bit of time, or quite,
Frequency.
yeah, reliably, quite reliably from horses that have lived outside. When you move them in, it's a real struggle. At times, not that they, of course, they get over it, but so horses needing exposure, and a buck clinic, depending on the horse, can be overwhelming, or they don't really care. Um, but everything that you have that you and your horse can communicate about will help you, and that doesn't get taken away. Wouldn't you agree, Michael?
Mhm.
It's like, so you might really need to use those things. For instance, you might need a one rein stop that actually works. A short serpentine is always good to have
But
going.
now, but now you have one.
That's right. Now you have one to use, and you're not trying to do the exposure and teach the tool at the same time. So, really, is it at the same venue in March? Do we even have a schedule yet? He said it was going to be out.
It is out.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So I haven't looked at it yet. But if it is at the same venue, the chances of it being a big drama is going to be low, unless you have somebody that is really, this is the other thing, like, think about it, horses that are really
Herd
good.
animals
What was that?
and being herd animals, the whole dynamic in the group can affect too.
Yeah, yeah. Or, I mean, I know somebody who has a really nice bridle horse, but when another horse got loose bucking and dragging a saddle around, it was a bit of a shit show for even people on broke horses. No, I mean, my only point in saying that is because it would have been nice for some people to say that to me when I was thinking that it's that I had just done a terrible job. And sometimes that can be true. Oh, you were totally missing this, so you didn't have the right tool or whatever. But also sometimes it's like, look, your horse just needs to do that few more times. It's not that you have necessarily done anything wrong. It's just like they just need to get a crack at it a few times. So I'm actually amazed, Michael, when I think about it, how few times it really takes for a horse to get all right with some things. But you do have to put the effort in. I say that for myself too, you know. Um oh yeah. Can you read those?
Yes, and then I'm gonna have to go. Sorry. Um, Corey said the other factor is, can I check the things off the list out in the middle of the hayfield on our own versus in the arena, adding challenge with environment changes. Yeah. And then Michelle said, no, it's in two different places around Dallas. There's two clinics back to
Yeah,
back in Dallas.
probably pretty close. I don't know. I haven't
Yeah.
seen this.
She said I signed up for the back to back weekends, so must be
There you go.
close enough.
Mhm.
I mean, close enough. You can haul a horse a long ways in a week.
Mhm. Texas is big.
Texas is big.
Yeah.
Dallas is big. I have to run.
Is that it? That was the only thing.
That was the whole
Okay.
that was
Well,
all the comments.
thank you for indulging in this conversation, because I do think it's valuable, and I think that your insight is very important along with everybody else's. And so Julie says horses can learn in one successful moment. Look how quickly they can learn to open a gate. Yeah, absolutely. Hmm. Yep. Okay, you guys. So Michael and I. Oh, real quick, Michael, do you want to do a Christmas Eve quick good morning and not worry about Christmas Day? That's what I was kind of thinking we should do Wednesday.
Yeah, that's probably good. I don't know. Yeah.
I mean, just
Is
if
that
you're,
next week already, or are we talking 2 weeks out? It's 2 weeks out. Okay, good.
yeah, yeah. Okay, you guys. So speaking of which, Michael and I will see you next Thursday morning at 6:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time.
8:30 Central.
Thanks for being here, you guys. Bye.